welcome back everybody to this special energetic transmission and broadcast here from myself and Bella at QPW, but most of all from the Ascended Master Zac of Assyria, the 26th dimensional being, who is of course an aspect of Dwar Kul and channeled by our dear friend and sister Janet Treloar. So this was a follow-on conversation from the last one we had that you can see on our YouTube platform, where he was advising us about the incoming energies, the galactic energies, and how the best way to connect to those galactic energies of ourselves is to do it through the nature realm. He even gave us a bit of a prod to really come up quickly with a first aid kit for nature. And he talks about why in this video. He talks about the sensation of dropping into the void and the need to fill the void with something good, something wholesome, something healing. That gift really is nature's gift. And of course, it's available over on our QPW website right now for a very affordable price. That in itself is the introduction transmission because it activates. It's a video, it's educational, but most of all, it's a transmission with codes in it, channeled by myself and Bella from the nature kingdoms with the plants. And those codes activate something that then allows the seeker to enter into the sacred book of nature. This is an actual blueprint. We talk about it on the video, but it's also going to be brought into 3D manifestation by us here at QPW with, of course, many other allies and guides, including the wonderful Zac, who's going to be appearing regularly in this 13-volume journey. This will take place over the course of this next 12 months, 13 moons, 13 volumes. Every 28 days, there will be an intense period of about 5 days with a live call and a whole sequence of teachings, transmissions, all creating a beautiful narrative from which to learn and receive healing codes. So the Sacred Book of Nature is available now. We have an early bird offer running until the 25th of January, and we actually will be having a preparatory live call on the 25th of January in preparation for the actual start on the 31st of January. So not essential to be there, but if you're thinking about joining this beautiful course, it's so exciting. We're excited to be here to deliver it. But if you're thinking about that, I definitely recommend making the most of the special early bird offer, which has two benefits, which you can see on the website and we've talked about before, and jumping in there and getting ready ahead of time. Preparation is key on this kind of journey. So that's it really from our side. I just wanted to add 5 minutes just to give context. The transmission jumped straight in and we're then talking to Zac about all of these different things, but also about where we're at right now. In case you hadn't noticed, we are at an incredibly pivotal, intense moment. The sun is about to really embrace us with more plasma swirls that it's just ejected in the last, I think, 48 hours, an X-class flare. So there is a lot happening. And most of all, I think the key is that nature can ground us and center us so that we can ascend. Alrighty, everybody, I'll leave it there. Look forward and hope to see many of you on the journey of the Sacred Book of Nature, and also to get any feedback from those of you who've already opened Nature's Gift. So please do hit like and subscribe in the comments, and we look forward to seeing you very soon. Bye for now.
Welcome.
Hi, Zac.
Hi, Zac.
How are you?
All the better
Good.
for appreciating these changes that they are manifesting totally upon your earth now. Yes, very, very different, very, very good. Aha.
Does it look like we're on the highest timeline now?
Yes, the wonderful thing is the timeline that has been chosen is the one that I would have chosen for all of you.
Wonderful.
Should I have had the choice? But yes, no, humans are brave, and they have taken the brave route. We like this.
Good.
In fact, maybe, Zac, this is a good place to start because we were just talking, you're probably listening with Janet and talking about many, many things in preparation for talking with you now. But perhaps just in this moment, we have perceived some really, really big shifts, really going, since we've known you, but since the 19th of December, but most especially in the last five days. And it feels like we've jumped into literally a new reality. It still looks the same, but internally, it's not the same at all. Can you expand on this for me and Bella's benefit, please?
As the very delicate movement within the etheric has happened, and you are creating more space. Imagine an object that is of a certain size, and then it becomes the same object but far, far vaster. Okay, so it looks the same. However, there is so much more expansion. Now, that expansion creates space. And what we mean by space is something that people would often refer to as the void. Now, this is one of the reasons why it is so challenging at this time. As you are moving to a more expanded, on the electromagnetic area, you understand, on the etheric, on this more expanded space, it is actually creating a void that is now to be filled. So you already have preparations. People like yourself have preparations, what this is to be filled with, even though you did not know that is what is happening. However, to go into a space that is vaster to be filled, it can feel very uncomfortable. It can feel something is missing. I am not whole. So this is what is being triggered within many, many people as well. It is an awareness without being able to consciously know that this is space that they are filling. And actually the space is useful in the future, whether it is the coming moments, days, weeks, or even years ahead. It is uncomfortable initially, however, because people are used to filling up voids in their life. Suddenly to have space, suddenly to allow the new to come in, the changes to happen can feel very, very unsettling, unstabilizing, unbalancing for many. Hence the reason why, or one of the reasons why, is this return to basics, to have this very, very strong format. And what is the ideal format? Of course, it is nature, because nature, as it expands, naturally fills the void with more nature. It is not as a human that is creating other constructs to come in. Does this make sense to you, my dear?
It does make sense, Zach, and perhaps whilst we're at this point in the conversation, perhaps this is a good moment to reflect back on our last conversation with you, when really you gave us a strong idea and urge and imperative that we needed to somehow come up with a first aid kit for this moment, really to fill that void. And so, at your prompting and with our guide's help, 3 days of intense downloads produced the Nature's Gift transformation. Would you like to share something with the audience who are going to listen to this about why that had to happen and what Nature's Gift can do for them in this moment, and as a stepping stone to what we're going to talk to you about later, the sacred book of nature?
These quantum aspects of nature, of the individual, yes, of the individual plants and so forth, but really the whole species of these different ones, on the quantum level, they have a grounding beyond this particular planet. They have a grounding in a reality that you are already in. Humans have a slightly different connection and relationship with past, present, and future. In nature, it is happening on the surface, as it were, in the reality of the physical world as a past, present, future. However, on the quantum level, it is constantly within all at the same time. This is one of the reasons why this return to the awareness and understanding of these individuals in particular, those that were, I would say you chose, or should I say chose you, to speak through and come through, so that as peoples not only receive, as you would call it, the downloads, the energetic encoding, which is timed perfectly for whenever they listen, experience nature's gift. The timing is such that it both heals and unlocks within them these certain parts. Then, because the physicality can take a little while to catch up, they have the physical attributes as well to then support their journey into health and newness. So, even though it is a first aid kit, and many people would perceive it as something that is helping on the physical, of course, this even goes beyond all the traditional aspects of the etheric. It goes into the first aid for this complete another shift of reality through the etheric and electromagnetic experience. They do not they are not holding back. They are not saying, let us wait for this date or that date. They are able to be at a level where they can carry you through. A bit like, a firefighter picking somebody up in a burning place can literally carry them out of the fire because they have an awareness of how the fire works. This is the same with these quantum spirits. They have constantly got their finger on the pulse of what is happening with the energy, so they can guide you through. All you need to do once you actually have that kit is be open to receiving, to not questioning too much. Well, why do I feel an affinity with this one or that one at this time? What is it that is making my heart urge to go to a Lady Mugwort, for example, or whatever else it might be? But literally to allow it to happen, because they are the ones that know and can carry you forward. Does this make sense, my dear?
Absolutely, it does, Zach, and thank you because you've touched into the areas of the nature's gift healing transmission that maybe aren't immediately obvious. Because yes, you guided us and the guides also to think about physical, spiritual, emotional, and quantum. And of course, the quantum is the one that people can't see really. It's the one that makes the magic happen. But with your guidance and assistance and the plants, we were able to channel into that video transmission from a quantum level exactly what you've just shared. And I believe that this is the future, Zach, of personal well-being if we work with quantum plant intelligence. Can you share anything about that moving forwards in this new timeline of New Earth that we're on, and perhaps how this could be important for all of us?
Yes. So humans naturally think of things quite separate. And the more traditional view, particularly for medicinal purposes and even awakening purposes and other, of utilizing nature's gifts, haha, to paraphrase your expression, but to utilize these, they see it almost two-dimensional, three-dimensional, maybe four or five-dimensional. Just the fact of, oh, this is very useful. And up until this point, there's been no problem with this. And this is still not a problem. It is more that this is a solution. So now, as we are going into these quantum fields as a human being, it is opening up access and doorways dimensionally as well. It is allowing what's giving a stabilizing and healthy effect, connecting you constantly to the safety of nature, was opening up to many, many other aspects that nurture and evolve and have presence constantly in these plants and others' lives, such as the sun, such as the moon, such as time, all these different aspects that when a person, maybe for example a herb or other, does not comprehend, is already part of the quantum experience that they are delving into. So can be very, very useful for the human to have all of the facts and figures, have the knowledge, and some people need that very much to allow themselves to open up energetically. Others, however, will receive it naturally through the gift of that plant to them. Therefore, moving into the future, the more that people appreciate, it goes beyond that quantum experience of that particular spirit, what has actually fed that plant over the years in terms of energetically speaking. We often think of course, in the very physical way. And of course, pesticides and all of these things and what is in the soil. And we can go very deeply into that. But let us more think about the energetic side. Where was it grown in terms of what time of year, with the moon cycles, the sun cycles, all of these different situations that are happening. It all comes down to an interplay between the electromagnetic nature, which is what bonds you throughout nature, as all of you have this, and this allowance for this electrical magnetic nature to be shifted and moved, just very, very tiny, but only is a tiny amount by all of these other factors. And this can be brought in through the plants, but it also can be brought in simply by awareness. And this is something that you are bringing forward with this next endeavor that you are doing as well. Does this make sense, my dear?
Yes, absolutely, Zach, and thank you so much for giving the wider groundwork, pun intended, of what this is all about, because you're referring, of course, to the Sacred Book of Nature, which is the follow, a much bigger piece that I now understand after what you said at the beginning is really here to fill people up from the inside out when they're in that void space. Because if you're going to fill your internal space, which we've been cleaning and clearing with everything that's been going on, it's going to be nice and empty, a new crystalline operating system. And what better energy to fill it than the universal energy of nature, solar consciousness, lunar consciousness, animal consciousness, elemental consciousness, fairy consciousness, all of which appears in the Sacred Book of Nature. Rather than it just being the Sacred Book of Plants, we were guided to create this, not create, we just received really, with your help and all of the guides, this incredible blueprint, which I really think comes from a special realm that you know very, very well. But this is the nature realm, the creator realm. And in this space, we can all step into it and exist in this space and meet all of these energies ourselves. Is that how you feel about it, Zach? Can you expand on the things you've already shared with us in receiving this beautiful book?
Absolutely. So just to give you a little bit of an example, it is within that particular realm when there is a strong desire within a species to step further forward outside of the realms of their genetics at that point, to which the modern traditional way of looking at it is evolution. Now we know it is not quite exactly as the textbooks say. For the sense of this experiment, example, we would say that actually what happens is in this particular realm, this realm gets involved. So, for example, for antennae, for example, to be produced on certain insects and so forth, for spots and so forth to appear on butterfly wings that are going to look like eyes to a predator. All these types of things that were not there once but then came to be. This was not because you got the collective consciousness of that particular species that came up with an idea and then pushed through nature to create it. It went into these realms way, way beyond that are so detailed within the structure of your nature that could be then applied. And it is with the Fae's help. And this is again slightly different to the Fae that people are very familiar with within the nature spirits, the woodland realms and so forth of your earth. We are talking of the universal Fae. These are more star fairy beings that then can think outside of what has already been not only utilized already on Earth, but has been permissible before on Earth to bring in innovation. And this is where this then structurally moves through, and often on a great collective conscious level. And therefore, this is exactly correct. This dimension is becoming more and more open to not just for these sorts of examples, but for people to actively get involved. The star beings and others, the Fae and others, are ready and welcoming. Now, of course, it won't be easy always for people to just simply open that door. It has been shut for many for a long time to simply move away from any possibility of any sort of abuse of it or so forth. However, the Starfey very much feel that humanity is now at a point in an understanding of the quantum to a degree that they are willing to allow them to come in almost as apprenticeships. You understand, to come in to learn from them how to then utilize this so they don't always have to go ahead and ask, can you do this? Can you do this? But actually move into this sphere and utilize this. And they can do this because they are part of nature. Humans are part of nature. And we are now into that energy where this is more and more possible. Therefore, the work that you are doing, opening up these doorways in very, I was going to say safe, but I'm going to change that word to loving, because you are doing it with respect, with love, and with union of the sacred nature that there is. Therefore, you are being given, should we say, full access. Understand, yes, my dear?
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Zac. Yes, I mean, the galactic Fae and the earthly Fae have been very much present with ourselves and many other people recently. And we understood that the recent immersion that we did, the Stargate Opens, which you also shared beforehand, a big part of that was receiving the galactic phase signal into our internal void space, the womb space, where I perceive now that they are very much at work, hence how the sacred book of nature came into our kind of awareness in the last few weeks since we spoke to you. So all of those energies and characters are going to be in the sacred book of nature for those who want to join us on this journey. And for sure, yourself and Janet are also going to be making various appearances throughout the 13 volumes, but we don't want any spoiler alerts right now. So perhaps on this final question, Zac, do you have anything you want to ask Zac about nature, Bella?
I would like to ask Zac about the role of the sun
Okay.
in connection to nature at this moment. We're in the middle of a sun wave spell, and the sun is in full activity with lots of plasma coming to us. I put together a mini series talking about the sun through cultures and architecture and many other things. Is there anything you want to add here on behalf of the sun?
The main thing to get across is you cannot dumb down the importance of the sun. As in, whatever you say, however huge it sounds, this is still tiny iota of what the sun could do. Ha ha! And so, therefore, yes, we would say very much look to the sun. Look to the sun as well on how it interplays in all the aspects. We only know on a very, very light level, superficial level, just how much the sun can change the mood of a person on a physical level. You know, it is the sun that activates vitamin D within people. One of the main roles of vitamin D is regeneration of new cellular growth as well in very particular parts of the body. Again, sun, it is working on you like it is working on nature. However, the multi-dimensional aspects of it go way beyond anything that you could possibly perceive with all the different aspects of the human and the etheric. This is also such a central point when we are talking about the etheric, the electrical nature, and it is very much the key player in changing the electrical magnetic structure around the earth, and therefore connecting with all of you as well. The plasma element, the solar flares, so many different things that are coming, the different levels of light, frequency of light. Although, like anything, too much of it when you're not knowing what you were doing can be overwhelming and can stimulate situations which are a little bit go beyond. However, to actually have some knowledge of it and be able to moderate and to utilize, know when to step into the power and when to step away from the power. And the wonderful thing is your universe was designed that, yes, if you look into the night sky, the moon may look tiny in comparison with actually the size of the sun. However, due to the very specific proximity, the mileage or kilometers, however you want to see it, a variation towards the earth to where the sun is, it has been designed in such a way that the moon is in total balance with the sun. So when you have these aspects that are very, very huge happening with the sun, know, even if you cannot see it, on an energetic cleansing, balancing, releasing, the moon is doing the same in the sense of it is the balancer. So whatever your sun is doing, whatever new things that you find out the sun doing, always know that you in this cubeword of the universe are designed as such that the moon will actually balance it out for you as well. Therefore, the more you understand about the sun, at some point also very useful to find out about the moon so that you can also again invite in how much energy or not. This is for the general populace, as you understand.
Yeah.
Understand, yes, my dear?
Yes, thank you, Zac.
Yes, and maybe as we just conclude here our discussion with you, Zac, for our audience, this last question rather from yourself and Bella has prompted something that could also be of use for the general population. The rebalancing of the masculine and the feminine and the solar and the lunar is kind of become very obvious in the very unbalanced relationship between the metals that we call gold and silver. Now, silver has rapidly rose in recent weeks. Can you expand on what this means and how this perhaps is a reflection of the return of the goddess, the rise of the feminine to create parity once again with the internal and external yin and yang energies?
Mm. So the construct of the male and female as well, with this the sun being the male and the moon being female, is likely to continue. There was a point when it was looked upon by the universe of should these become more androgynous. However, due to the way that your earth is and how the way the earth and nature reacts, it was felt in very high places, let us simply say, that to have the balance between them was more important. And when one rises, the other one would rise up with it. So what is actually happening is even though you have still got this very, very predominant male-female energy, just as you are finding within the peoples of the earth, the other side, the dormant side, is actually becoming very, very strong. So even though the sun, this very dominant, this male character, for want of a better word, what it is actually pumping out at the moment is actually a nurturing gift, life-giving gift, which is more associated to do with the female, also to do with creativity, more associated with the female. As the moon is balancing out further, it has needed to, it is not digging deep, but for putting across the emphasis, let us say it is digging deep to bring through more powerful protective. It is doing a protective stance against some of the more harsher rays of the sun that is coming across to peoples. It is doing a very good job of actually standing very tall and strong and being seen, not so much as in the background, in the nighttime, in the shadows, but something that is so coming to the fore. Have you noticed in the daytime sky at the moment how much stronger the sun is to be seen? The more supermoons that are coming in due to this timing as well, the closeness to the earth, it is saying, I am here. So therefore, what you're actually happening at the moment is, even though it is a reflection as well, it is also a leading light way for those who are in their own process of understanding in their own humanity the gentle undulating balance between the male and female within them, which is very much like a river. It is a current and a flow rather than something that is more forceful. Understand? Yes.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you so much, Zac. That seemed like an appropriate question to round out here our discussion with yourself and our beloved friend Janet here for our YouTube audience. So we're going to say goodbye now, Zac, to our YouTube audience. Would you like to say goodbye as well?
We will see you soon, no doubt, my dears, as we endeavor to bring more connection into the quantum aspects of nature and beyond. Ha! I look forward to seeing you there on the ether. Ha! My friends.
Beautiful. Thank
Bless
you.
you. Thank you so much, Zac. Goodbye for now, everybody.